So, welcome to Joy and Marie's birthday party.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Yes, my birthday was earlier this summer. Even though I've kind of given up on birthdays. Not that I'm depressed about getting older, but no one believes that I have birthdays or that I do get older. Like 2 weeks ago, I went to the ASU football game. I walked in without asking me anything, without asking for ID. The guy gives me a student ticket. Like,
Nice.
really? I mean, not even an ID, right? Like, just, oh, you must be a
All right.
student.
Way to
You're
go.
that young looking.
Way to go.
Great.
Way to go.
And then last week I took my car in to get an oil change, and the woman there asked me if I go to ASU. No, I finished my PhD in 2009, 12 years ago.
Way to go.
So for 26 years I have been 19.
Okay.
So no more birthdays for me.
Right.
I love it. Way to go.
And I get it, right? Like, I am undersized. I'm a small person.
Okay.
In fact, I had to start lifting weights because I kept getting lost in an x-ray machine at the airport. Like this. I'm serious. They would say, step in, it's usually, sir. Okay. Step into the x-ray machine. So I turn and, you have to go like this. And they're like, where did you go? And, oh, I'm here. Okay, well, where do you go? Where do you go? Well, every time you turn around.
Don't turn sideways.
And then, I can't find clothes that fit me. So I always have to wear a belt, right? But you can't wear a belt in the x-ray machine. So that's always fun, right? So I take your belt off so my pants are falling down. Hold your hands up. Well, my pants are falling down. You gotta have your hands up. Okay, well, we found something here. Because my belt, you took my belt away. What am I supposed to do? I can't pull my pants up. You make me put my hands up here, and then you say you find something here. I mean, the point is, right, you're just gonna pat me down no matter what.
I know.
So I've had more affection from TSA agents than pretty much anyone else. Every time I went to the airport.
Gotta
We
get
need
it
to
where you
pat you
can.
down. We need to pat you down. There actually was a scandal like that, right? There was a guy that was saying, like, he was gay, and so whenever a cute man walked into the x-ray machine, he would tell his coworker, flag that guy. So he could
Oh, wow.
Well, at least you can hold your hands up. I can't hold my hands up. Hold your hands up.
Such a story.
No, it's true, right? Like so many things you take for granted.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
It's
Just let them off this or that. Okay.
Got to strip yourself down for the general public at the airport, right? Then have total strangers pat you down.
Thank you, babe.
We got to check here. We got to check here.
Yes.
That's where you go for love, right?
Sure you do. Yeah,
Sign me up.
I need some more. Yeah, I need some cuddlings. So go to the airport.
Go there next weekend.
Oh, man.
So, and yeah, so I've been lifting weights for about 7 years. And can you imagine what my voice would sound like if I didn't lift weights? Before I started lifting weights? I mean, it's pretty bad now, right? Like, and then it got to the point where if I went to a store and I had to ask for help, they would take me up front and make a lost child announcement. Attention customers, there's a 12-year-old boy missing his parents. Please report to the customer service desk. No, I just need to know where the towels are. After a while, it's not flattering anymore. I'm 45. Come on, people. No, really, right? So, time for my transition. Anyway, so time marches on for everyone but me. And then next month, in about 2 weeks, the rest of the country will the time will stand still for everyone except Arizona and Hawaii for 1 hour because of daylight savings, right? So everyone else will fall back and we just keep going, right? So I think, the rest of the country thinks it's cool to save daylight.
Oh.
And then they're looking at us like, come on, Arizona, don't you want to save daylight? We're like, we good.
We
We
good.
good
Yeah.
with the daylight.
Yeah.
We tried it. We
Got
got
enough daylight.
We got enough. In fact, we have some extra. You want to buy some daylight?
Raise your water.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. You have water. We have daylight. You seem to want to save it. So let's make a trade, right?
My
here.
sisters are
They
sick
can have
of it.
that for sure.
No, it's and this is the point, right? So, do you know where daylight savings time started on a large scale?
No.
Germany in World War One.
Okay.
The same people that brought us U-boats, flamethrowers, and poison gas during the same time period. Why do we think this is a good idea?
We know. Yeah.
Arizona, we figured it out, right?
Yeah.
And and it's hilarious because a lot of people say, it's for the farmers, because the farmers like to get up early. Farmers never get up, or always get up before the sun, right? Like they're the ones.
In my day,
Yeah, right?
Got up at 4 o'clock in the morning when it was black dark.
Yeah. So it don't help the farmers.
Right?
The plants don't care what time it is. Like, oh, it's 5 o'clock. Time to dig deeper. Time to blossom. Right? Like, they just wait for the sun. It doesn't matter what time it is.
Oh my goodness.
Same thing for the cows, right? They don't care what time it is.
They just want brag.
But the cows might actually be upset with daylight savings, right? Because when the time changes, like when you hold back an hour, then they're waiting an extra hour to be milked. So they're like, I can't hold it anymore. When are you gonna come milk me? Hold on, Bessie, hold on. He's coming. I was like, I'm gonna explode. I can't hold it anymore. And then when the time changes back, right, they're like, you here early. I don't got no milk for you. You're a whole hour
my
early.
goodness.
I don't got no milk. So yeah, I don't think it's for the farmers.
It's for somebody stupid.
There must be some money in it for somebody.
That's not, that's what I know.
Told me don't do anything.
Well, actually, I was reading kind of the history of it, and so Benjamin Franklin is the one that kind of started it. He wrote this satirical article. He's like, he wanted to sell more candles, right? Right? Because you're like, well, I could sell more candles if it's darker, right? But then he was saying, well, you could save money on candles if you just woke up later, right?
No, we go for it.
So he was just totally playing, but then people are like, yes. And then there's another guy that really enjoyed golfing, so he wanted it to be light later so he could go golfing after work. So then he wrote all these op-eds, and we should really do this.
Wow.
And then Germany, I think they started it during the war to save energy, even though, yeah. So it's very fascinating, right? Like somebody was just messing around, and now the whole world is like, why are we doing this?
Right.
So anyway, yeah, Arizona again, just like we don't need to save daylight here. We got plenty. But the overabundance of daylight actually does cause some problems, right? Sadly, 71% of Arizona roosters have to retire early because of vocal cord overuse, because they don't know when to stop crowing, right? It's like the sun is coming up all day. Oh, here it comes. Cock-a-doodle-doo! Oh, it's still coming. Cock-a-doodle-doo! Oh, no, not now. Cock-a-doodle-doo! Right? I mean, when does it stop coming up?
Oh my goodness.
When is the sun up in Arizona? So yeah, it's sad. A lot of worn out roosters in Arizona. also, if you have an iPhone, it's harder to communicate with your iPhone in Arizona because you're like, hey Siri. She's like, yes, it is Siri. It is 117 degrees Fahrenheit right now. Yeah. No, Siri. Synonyms for searing include blistering, scalding, scorching. No, Siri. Calling 911. Why? You obviously are suffering from heat stroke. All you can say is searing. So yeah, it's hard. It's just so hot. Siri's like, yes, searing. What do you want me to do? So do you know how to tell if people have lived in Arizona a long time from people who just moved here?
They can't drive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
They cause all the wreck.
That's what everyone says about everyone. When I lived in the South, they said the same thing. The damn Yankees can't drive. Then you go up north. The damn Southerners can't drive. Go to Utah. Arizona can't drive. You're down here. Utahns can't drive. Right.
Nobody can drive.
Nobody can drive. Well, no one can drive here in the rain. That's for sure.
No, they definitely can't.
Like that is just
Whoa!
They're like a bunch of drunk kids on a slip and slide down the freeway.
No.
I mean, they just.
Oh, man.
insurmountable.
These folks
I
can't
can drive
drive
out
when
here.
it's raining, and half of them not from Arizona. Why can't they drive in the rain? You get frustrated with that. That's funny.
So if you've been here a long time, your blood thins a lot. You know, you're basically cold-blooded. So you have to, taste the air. Make sure that everything's okay. You don't need to get cooler or warmer, right? Because you don't want to get cold too fast. You've got to maintain your body temperature. So that's how you can tell people been here for a while. It's really, really subtle.
We're not imitating lizards, we're just.
No, that's what you do when you're cold-blooded, right?
Yeah.
But people who haven't lived here for a while, they always have their mouths open. It's so hot. I need more water. So that's how you tell the difference between people who live. Like at least we keep our mouths closed now. Maybe we'll stick our tongue out. It's so hot. How do you guys live here? But long-time Phoenix residents are not always so subtle. When we're agitated, then we get very angry. We start doing push-ups. Come on, see what happens. Just like the lizards, right? I mean,
That's what they're doing.
that's how. So don't upset Phoenix residents. So you start doing push-ups. They won't hurt you, but it's kind of weird, right? We're very passive-aggressive in that way, and that's what cactus is, right? Cactus is the passive-aggressive landscaping choice.
Oh.
Like we got plants, but they can kill you.
I know. Really? Yeah.
Don't get too close.
Oh.
I have so many Arizona jokes. Sorry, I always have to tell Arizona jokes.
Sweet, we love Arizona. I love Arizona.
Oh no, I love
I
Arizona.
wouldn't live anywhere else.
Yeah,
I love it.
I love Arizona. And that's something that I've noticed, right? So we have, there are several states surrounding us that are mostly desert as well, like New Mexico, pretty much desert. Nevada, desert. And both of those states actually have nuclear waste repositories, right? Like Nevada has Yucca Mountain, which has been studied for 30 years. And New Mexico actually has, it's called Waste Isolation Project, right? So they actually have one. So Arizona is like the pretty girl of the deserts, right? Like, yeah, I see you guys have your nuclear waste over there. Y'all need to get yourself a Grand Canyon. But that's how it is. Like, the difference between Europe and US, like in Europe, they recycle their fuel because they look at themselves and they say, oh, every inch of us beautiful and must be preserved. And the U.S. were like, nah, we got Nevada, New Mexico, Texas. We can use those as garbage dumps as much as we want. We have plenty of space. No worries. Don't need to worry about recycling, garbage, right? Just throw it all. Throw it in Nevada. Throw it in New Mexico.
What a ghetto country we are. I mean, we just are the ghetto, you know? That's why the
In a lot
aliens-
of
That's
ways.
why the aliens don't land. They're just like traveling around like, not that ghetto.
They just look at us and be like, nah.
I know, they're like, look at those humans, yeah.
I might they help, but
But, no, thank you.
Yeah.
So, one other bad thing about growing up in Arizona is like you're kind of sheltered, right? Things that you just don't experience. So like I didn't even see my first cloud until I was 10. I didn't know what a puddle was until I was 13. Right? I got my mouth washed up with soap because I said the word galoshes.
Okay,
All you like,
okay.
I didn't do that one. I don't know
that's
why
a
I-
joke.
It's a joke.
Because galoshes, right? Because like there's not ever water.
Right.
There's no puddle.
Right, so nobody knows what galoshes
Not
are. So
sorry,
you're
so
like,
you
what
said
about
I think it's a bad
Hush
word.
your mouth! Where did you learn that word?
I know. I got it. Because I grew up wearing galoshes.
No, I got it, but I was looking at her like, did she really wash her mouth out with soap?
Must have been her dad.
No, joke.
Joke.
I got it.
I'm telling you my secret.
That was a thing. Parents putting soap in kids'
It
mouths.
wasn't funny.
I'd go to jail for that now.
Oh, yeah. You go to jail for telling them, I'm going to put soap in your mouth.
Right, exactly. So I
You ain't got to put it in there. But anyway, some of them need to put poison in their mouth, but whatever. Move on.
And so the heat also makes it kind of hard to date, right? It's just, you don't want to hold someone's sweaty palm, and that's kind of gross. And then, you know, what can you do? I just have to stay inside where it's cool, right? If you do have sex, then it's basically hydrofoiling on someone's stomach, right? Like, so, I mean, it's like weird sounds too, like, it's really not a very romantic experience, right?
That I don't know.
I can attest to that. It's a whole different type of fluid exchange going on.
In the heat, okay. Y'all have air conditioning in y'all room?
Well, when it gets hot, I mean, there's only so much the AC can do.
Oh my goodness.
So I always need to give you an update on online dating, right? Which is just hilarious in and of itself. So I've kind of taken a break, and I'll get to the reason why a little later. But I still need to tell you a few of the good like screen names, right? Which are really red flags. So first is lonely.
Oh.
Nope. I don't know.
You're gonna suck the life out of me right there, honey.
Like one word, and that's all I need to know. Right?
No more.
Well, how can you be lonely with such a big red flag? And the other one was, just plan me. I think she meant to say, just plain me.
Oh my goodness.
Just plan me.
Hooked on fun.
Yeah, that's on fire.
Right? So you're just like, nope. I mean, again, like, this is your screen name. Like, this is how everybody's going to see you, judge you, right? So just maybe check that.
Oh my.
If you don't edit the rest, then at least your screen name. Just plan me. And so then I was like, well, I know I'm not really up on the lingo, right? There's a lot of new texting lingo that I just like, a lot of, yeah. abbreviations and stuff like, okay, I have no idea.
Huh.
But I don't think plan is a word that means something other than plan. Like there are other words, right, that like bet,
Right.
that means sure, right? You bet. Oh, okay, I can see where that comes from, right? Or explain me this, right? Okay, explain, I can see where that comes from. But plan me, like
Not gonna-
just plan me what? Just plan me a wedding? Just
Oh.
plan me birthday party?
Date?
Yeah, so, but again, like, why are you putting that on me? I'm not gonna plan you. I'm not gonna plan anything for you. I don't even know you. Just plan me.
Oh.
And then another one was, please read story.
Oh.
Okay.
So you're like, oh, so a lot of asterisks already, right? Like, I need to read your whole story. You can't just encapsulate who you are in the screen name, right? Okay, so you're complicated.
Don't need
Red
that.
flag! No.
You and your baggage.
Please read story, like, swipe left.
Go find plan me.
Yeah, those
Exactly.
should meet up. And lonely, so she won't be lonely anymore, right? Have a threesome. And then one in her story, you know, like a lot of times they're just very abbreviated stories. Like one girl said, "Are you ready for a challenge?" No,
No.
not a dating challenge. It's hard enough to get myself out of bed. Like that's a big enough challenge, but you, nope. Really, I mean, like, what are you looking for?
What, a trainer? Like what?
Yeah, are you ready for a challenge? No, this is not a career site, right? I don't want to be a police officer. Just looking for a date.
You remember these losers trying to lose some weight? That's the kind of challenge I'm looking for, a fitness challenge, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'll find my own challenges.
Yeah. Me too,
Not
right?
yours.
I know. Oh, I got enough of my own.
Is that just a joke?
What?
Is that a joke? Or is it really something?
No,
else?
I wrote
Oh,
these
God.
down because I was like,
These are.
these,
These
I'm not
should
making,
be jokes.
yeah,
I should be making this up.
I'm not, this is real stuff.
That's scary.
And then another one was, I'm looking for someone real.
Yeah.
How about you? Yeah, I think that's the point of online dating, right? Like, right now you're not real.
Right.
When I meet you, you're real. Like, again, no one is real on this site. That's the point. Kind of goes without saying. Looking for someone real. Anyway, yeah, lots. So always you could do 7 hours of just online dating. So this year, I had a very extraneous dating experience. Right, I dated a man for the first time in my life.
Mm-hmm.
It was huge, right? I never dated. I went on dates with guys. I never held hands with a man, never kissed a man, never slept with a man, nothing, right? So I haven't even seen a man's, salient feature,
Oh,
right? So it's kind of a
I
really
haven't
big
used
difference.
it in 90 years, so go ahead.
So I think you'll love this. Next time you're going to be up here, okay?
Breathe, woman.
So I won't tell you the whole story.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, so the first time that we got together, then, it's like, all right, moment of truth, right? Finally gonna see a naked man. So, like, I had an idea. I mean, I know like in general what to expect. But, right, still it was exciting for me because okay, it was like a first, right? So, your moment of truth, and he takes off his underwear, and my first reaction really was, who designed that thing?
Oh my God.
All right, sorry, but keep in mind, I'm an engineer, right? So I gotta figure everything.
Oh, that's what I would say.
It's true, right?
To buy someone down. Oh,
Yeah.
Lord. I'll probably pass out. Go ahead.
No, really, who designed this thing? Right? Like it just hanging there. Right? I mean, like you're talking earlier about jogging with boobs, right? But like they're kind of up here, right? But down there, it's like that would really throw your center of gravity up, right? Like, so it makes sense. Like the Bible always talks about girding up your loins. Well, now we know why, right? Like you got to tuck in that thing.
When you
Right?
play football.
Yeah, right.
Or baseball. Oh, and basketball.
Got some all the
Yeah.
balls.
Pocket
No
pool.
pun intended.
What's that?
No, this is the thing, right? Like suddenly all these phrases made sense,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
Like, okay. So like, for instance, the word come has been completely ruined. You cannot say, hey, you want to come? Because that can mean very different things,
The different
right?
people.
Yeah,
Oh, with me to be come with me.
yeah.
Come.
But even worse is come inside, right? Like, no! Do not come inside.
Oh, Lord, have mercy.
But really, no, I mean, honestly, as an engineer, right, like, I just have a million questions. Why is that thing not inside, right? I mean, from an engineering perspective, right, like, this is your whole hope of posterity. It's just there. It can be, yeah, it can be, I mean, I, like a 2-year-old kid just runs into you, like, it's over. So, who thought of that?
Mm.
Right? I mean, like the Bible says that Eve was the afterthought. But if anything was the afterthought, it was this, right? Just like, let me just staple this on here.
Oh,
Yeah, I need to put this somewhere.
So we'll put it there.
Right? I mean, and it's like, but at the same time, like, it totally makes sense. It explains so many differences between men and women, right? Women, like, we have everything inside, right? And we have a lot of stuff. Vagina, cervix, uterus, fallopian tubes, ovaries, right? And at the
I don't have any of that stuff.
well, you did.
I can see. I don't have ovaries. I don't have a uterus. Let me see. I don't think I do. I can't remember.
that's your check.
I had an operation, but I can't remember what it. They took something out. I had to have a hysterectomy. What did they take out when they do hysterectomy? I can't remember.
Mine speak to his hands.
Yeah. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You said
yeah,
ovary.
Yeah.
I ain't got none of them.
No, so obviously there's plenty of room for a guy's dick to fit inside. If we can have all that hardware in us, and, you know, it's not like this all the time. I mean, there's even a human baby, room for a human baby,
Yeah.
right? At certain points in most women's lives, right?
Uh-huh.
A whole baby can fit in there. Why not a dick? And the balls, right? No, I swear, right? Like, as an engineer, you're like,
I'm
who
having
thought of
like
this?
Come up in there.
I'm not having too many. My thoughts of me is gross. Anyway, move on. It's gross. But don't y'all think so? Well, yeah.
Yeah, no, like, and this is the thing, right? So, again, the difference between men and women, right? Like, our stuff is actually very beautiful, right? Like, it's shapely. Like, you look at the uterus, it's like this, kind of like a flower opening, and then you have the the ovaries that kind of go like this, right? They're kind of flowery,
Mhm.
right? Yeah, like why couldn't the man be like a little more aesthetically pleasing? With just this long shaft.
Well, then
Right?
it wouldn't make sense. They couldn't have sex. Okay, I get the word. Move on.
No, really, but again, like,
What is that?
and maybe, I mean, I've never seen a uterus outside, right? But maybe it's ugly too. but you know, if something is ugly, then put it inside. And also
Well,
from
that's
it,
what they do.
yeah.
Last time I heard, like 40 years ago, that's what
That's the reason for me.
I know.
Yeah,
40
that's
years
sad.
ago. Other than that, I don't know.
That's
I got 3 kids.
No, but we're getting to that, right? We're getting to that. Again, like so many questions.
Yeah.
So no wonder men are insecure, right? Because like it's all right there for really anyone to just come on by and whack off, right? And then you have men being the ones who, in the history of the world, have generally loved going to battle. Why? Why would you program this member of the species that has the most to lose to be the ones that are most aggressive and want to hurt other people? Again, just asking a question. So, but so of course, like men need women because the vagina is the only place where the dick is safe, right? Like this warm, soft space where nothing can really happen, right? So it makes sense.
Mhm. I never thought of it that way, Jesus.
Sorry, I'm an engineer. I have to think about all of this. Why? Right? Who designed this? There has to be a reason it's like this, right?
Oh my goodness.
And then what really threw me for a loop was I was like, okay. So there's a dick, right? But there are also supposed to be 2 balls.
Mm.
I'm looking at the parts list. 2 balls. I don't see 2 balls. I see a sack. Where's the balls? Like that's what all men. I have balls. I have big balls, right? Like I'm a tough guy. I have big balls. You don't got no balls. You got a sack. Where's the balls?
Inside.
I know. Well, I didn't know that, so I'm like looking. I'm like, okay, so where are the balls? Like I literally asked him. He's like, oh yeah, they're in the sack. Like no one told me that. Nobody told me there's a sack.
Oh,
Like,
you
how?
had a sack. I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
Did you know it, Marie?
No.
I didn't either. Oh, excuse me,
I knew
getting
it.
educated. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
did you know that?
Well, yeah. I said some hesitation.
I must have went to sleep.
Holy shit.
I mean, how many diapers have you changed of boys? Come on. See,
A lot of them.
that's where I learned a lot.
Okay,
Mhm.
I was too busy changing the
Baby boy
diaper.
I learned a different way.
So here I am, the lesbian, educating all my straight women friends
No, I
on the
knew.
male anatomy.
I knew.
Okay, join us.
All right, I didn't.
It's okay.
Okay.
We're just having fun. But yeah, like I was really like, I have this parts list here.
Okay.
There are no balls. Someone lied to me.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, right, the balls are not symmetric, right? Like our stuff, again, aligned, symmetric. 2 ovaries, right? 2
Mhm.
fallopian tubes,
Right.
uterus in the center. The ball just kind of off to the side, right? Again, really just like on the way down from heaven, oh, I gotta staple that on there real quick.
Well, let me see. I gotta remember. No, that. Wait. I'm oblivious. I have no clue. Like my mother, she had 7 children, and she never did have sex.
7 virgin births?
Yeah,
Wow.
I used to crack up. That's it. she has 7 kids. She ain't have sex now. I introduced her one time. This is the lady that had 7 kids. She never did have sex though. I used to laugh all the time about that. I was a teenager. That woman, she like sex. When my kids were old enough, I told them about sex. But oh Lord, anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay, right? It's just like, that's the point, right? You're trying to figure all of this out. Like, how does this work, right? And who made it this way, right? So then when you look at it, you're just like, there's no way this is going to feel good. This big thing inside of me, it feels good, right? Like, why? But again, someone designed it that way,
Yeah.
right? Because if it didn't feel good, you probably wouldn't want to put it in there.
Oh well, that's over my head now.
But then, right, like I feel that humans are behind the curve in evolution in this way, right? Like most other mammals have retractable penises, right? Like dogs, horses, cats, you know.
But your cat took
Yeah, right? But again, like this, like our genitalia, like really defines the difference between men and women. Again, like women are inside, protected, organized, aesthetically pleasing. Again, men just hanging out there, right? And no shame, right? Like remember in junior high PE, and like you're like watching to change your shirt real fast. And the guys are in there taking showers with the whole damn class, right? And singing, and all the girls are like, I can't let anyone see my boobs, right? Right? Like, but it makes sense. Like, everything is inside, so they're just like modest, and then the guys are like, it's out, right? They can't hide this.
No.
And then,
That's true, because when I played basketball, nobody saw nobody.
I remember being like totally ashamed, right? Like, and then you would put your shirt on that you had to change, and then take the other shirt underneath, right? Like, you never changed, you never were naked in front of anyone.
I don't think, I wasn't ashamed. We just didn't, it was just in that era, you just didn't do that. You know, but now they probably do it. I mean, that's just kind of where I grew up. You went in there, changed your clothes and came out. And somebody else went in, changed their clothes and came out.
When I was 10, my friend's mom was a nudist.
Oh,
And I live in Treasure Island, California. I mean, like, she would walk around the house reading a book completely nude. You know what I mean? And, like, answer the door completely nude. And then her two kids, my age, 8 and 10, you know what I mean, would have nude parties where they would take a bucket on a string from their balcony off their bedroom and have kids put quarters in it for them to flash them. I mean, that's what I grew up with. You know what I mean? So I saw it all.
Very early.
Yeah, very early.
Wow.
Knew all the anatomy.
but,
I mean,
this is the point. Like, this is why I'm telling these jokes. Like, one reason is there's no shame, right? Like, who cares what your junk looks like?
That's right.
It's, I mean, again, God created penises and vaginas as well as your face, your nose, your teeth, right? So again, it's just like this. Oh, they saw me naked. Yeah, right. Get over it. Like, it's nothing to be ashamed of.
That's why
So-
Peyton, 5 years old, she knows she got a vagina. She ain't got no thing.
Yeah. No, my 2-year-old nephew, right? Like, there was time I went over to his parents' house when he comes running out. He just has a shirt. He's like, "This is my penis! This is my penis!" Like,
Yeah, and
that's your penis.
and they gonna tell you too.
Oh, yeah.
But you tell kids, okay, that's a thing. Then they grow up, I got a thing. Okay, that's dumb. Well, now, I'm just saying.
You can't name me no more, you can't name me.
I know. I told on YouTube, don't tell your child, call it what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's what I'm talking about my mom. You know, he was like, no, I told my kids all about sex.
Yeah, no, you should,
And
right?
I told my daughter, when a guy say I love you, that means he won't have sex with you, so move on. Oh, that's all it means.
True.
Red flag.
He don't love you, he love what you
Lonely.
what you got. And she said, Mama,
Even learn.
I'm telling you the truth.
Even learn.
And my friends used to say, you can just talk to them about stuff. Well, that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm like, Mama,
Yeah, exactly.
nobody else needs to tell her. I can tell, like, I didn't need the school to teach my kids sex education.
Right.
Because I got this.
No, you totally should, right? You
Yeah,
totally should.
yeah, sure.
Because yeah, like somebody else is gonna teach them, right?
Yeah.
Their peers.
Right.
Yeah, all those VHS tapes laying around
Yeah,
with somebody
exactly.
else's porno
Yeah,
or
you see
something. And
porn,
what's
yeah,
this?
it's
Yeah,
just like,
I know
oh.
that's it. Yeah, I don't know.
No, it's true.
That's what I did.
It's true.
That was the right thing to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You totally should. Yeah, you should be very transparent about it. And then you take away the stigma, so
Yeah.
there's not this okay.
Shame.
Yeah, exactly. Almost done here. Just a few more points. I wanted to
Okay.
make. So again, it's just funny to me how, again, like men and women, in general, and these are generalities, right? But in general, right, women tend to be more modest, conservative, quiet, right? Refined, yes. And it makes sense, right? Because like, okay, you know, like I am born with all the eggs I will ever have, right? I don't make eggs, right? I have the eggs that I'm born with, right? And men never stop making sperm. Never stop making sperm. It's just like, I got plenty. Like, how much sperm do you need? Right? But right, it just makes sense that men are just like, oh, we can do this, no problem, right? And women are like, well, let's think about this. Because again, like just the difference, like again, and who designed it this way? Like, why do we only have a certain number of eggs? And why do they literally till the day they die, keep making sperm? What could go wrong if you have a mechanism that never shuts off?
Ask Alec Baldwin.
No, there are plenty. I mean, my own uncle had a kid when he was 70.
Whoa.
Danny, yeah. Yeah, right?
Well, a lot of those actors, they old, but they got young wives and they having babies. They won't even live to see them be teenagers.
Yep.
No, again,
Young
like,
wives want
who
kids.
thought of this?
I know. It seems like
That's
men
so
at a
sick
certain
of it.
Got a limit.
Yeah.
like wives at a certain time, men at a certain time, no more, like you say. Oh my goodness.
Should get like a ticket, like you got like 15 time to use them wisely.
Right, yeah.
Nobody be getting cheated on anymore. You know,
Right,
they
right,
don't really
yeah.
think about it
Limit.
before they go.
No, it's true,
You're
right?
using
Just
a
a token.
But yeah, it's just like, like
Right, the fire hose.
yeah, really. Got plenty to spare, can always make more. And then, so, you know, like men, they always, or yeah, so men always are more visual, right? Like, oh, they need to have the big muscles, right? They need to have their big truck. They need to have a big house, right? They need to have big things. And it's same with this, right? It's just like, oh, it makes sense that it's on the outside because they need to see that. Like, and we're like, no, that's okay. Like, I trust that. I mean, you don't even know that you're missing it, right? Like, I don't even know what's in there right now. But I'm cool,
Yeah.
right? But men, right? Like, it's just the difference between men and women, right? They're just so visual. I mean, again, in general, they're so much more visual than we are, right? And which makes for some hilarious stories. So, a friend of mine had a colleague, and she was working with this man, and they were both recently divorced, and so you know they were working together, and she went to get a cup of tea or something, and she came back, and the man is completely naked, and she's like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "Doesn't this turn you on?" I'm like, "No, no, it doesn't." Right? But like they get really turned on. Like it's just like hilarious, like how different we are in that way. So yeah, it's hilarious. They're just like, this doesn't turn you on? Nope.
No.
Not really. Nope. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of turning me off. Like maybe turn it.
I don't want to eat breakfast.
Yeah.
Or lunch.
Right, yeah. I'm good. I'm good.
You know, that is so funny. I asked this lady one time, I said, aren't you too old to have sex? And she said, no, you need to ask somebody older than me. And I thought she was 70. I thought, you still having sex? She said, ask somebody older than me. Okay, I wouldn't know.
Glad you told me that.
going back to, so men need something tangible, right? Like, oh, I have to see my muscles to believe that they're there. I have to see my big, big truck, right? See my penis. But they also have to seem to touch it, right? Like, even little boys are always just like holding themselves, right? But you never see women just like, or even like this, you know, like they're just like, oh, you have to pee. It's not because, oh, you're insecure, right? Like, and yeah, little boys hold themselves have to pee, but at the same time, a lot of times they're just like, playing with
Still
them,
there.
right? I just gotta check, and men too, right? They're just like, oh,
Yeah.
need to make
Oh,
sure that's
grab it.
still there.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, we're not like,
Mm-hmm.
yep, I'm still good.
Oh, well, I can just look at me and I'm still good.
Yeah.
I don't have to touch. So, I mean,
So there is one thing that is inside, right? And that's the prostate, right? So do you know what the prostate does?
Gets cancer.
I know that's the third thing.
Right, you always hear that, right?
Yeah.
That's all.
But the sperm, like the vagina, is actually a very acidic environment, right? It's very caustic. So the prostate produces this fluid that protects the sperm while they're floating around in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's kind of eerie, right? Like that every man's prostate knows the pH of every woman's vagina, right? Like, how does that work, right? Because I mean, it's not that like he gets in there and then it's like, okay, I need to tune my prostate just a second, right? Like it's already programmed in there. And again, like he's never been inside of me, or you know, it could be any woman, right? But they like the prostate knows. But then like it's kind of again like the difference between men and women, because like we make lube, right? So it's like, well, why doesn't the lube do the same thing as the prostate, right? Like, why wouldn't we be the ones to protect the sperm? But then it's like, it's not our sperm.
Right.
It's your sperm. You take care of that. Right?
Oh.
I make the lube to make this feel good for me.
Right.
The sperm, that's your stuff. Right? So you take care of that. Right? Again, it's just hilarious. It just like totally makes sense. Like we're very independent, right? Like I'm not gonna worry about your sperm.
No.
Your sperm don't make it. I don't care. It feels good.
Right.
But yeah, the one thing that is inside is the prostate, right? So again, like why can't you have the balls in there and the penis in there, right? It doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.